Jay-Z kept his wealth, power, and silence that's hidden behind locked doors. Even though Nicki Minaj discloses the facts, this is not a rumor. This chain reaction music is strengthening the Carter legacy. Politics and music. Right now, it's impossible to ignore the internet. The money, the explosion, and the betrayal. Music before we even start talking about any of this, or even scratching the surface of what is going on right now. I want each and every one of you to grasp something very important. The internet is currently going crazy over the Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z song issue. It wasn't an accident. This wasn't exactly a surprise development. This Twitter war did not start because of a mistake someone made one Tuesday afternoon. However, music, the subject of our current investigation, has been seething beneath the surface for a very long time. We're talking about unmet promises. The stakes are tens of millions of dollars. We're talking about betrayal. Music has such deep-rooted power and impact that it may change how a whole business is seen. When I finally said that song, the lid of this thing blew. Off, that is, in a way nobody could have imagined. Not the fans, bloggers, business leaders, or even those who thought they realized what was really happening behind closed doors. Please take a seat and settle in as we begin to unravel this multi-layered tale. Music. In contrast to a 7-tiered wedding cake. Pay them back as a group, everyone. Music, let's start at the beginning. Let's go back to around 2015. Music that year. Jay-Z decided to do something that had never been done in the music business before. The industry's past. Music, he had a big, ambitious idea for Alma's groundbreak. His goal was to write a musical. They music owed a song. Not a meager sum from these big corporate streaming sites. And a platform that would eventually pay the people who write the music. Music who put their hearts and souls into every beat. And a streaming service that would be under the artist's control. Tidal was the name of that music portal. When Tidal launched, Jay-Z wasn't the only person standing by himself at the press briefing. At the conference, music appears to be quite serious. Oh no, he challenged the biggest names in the music business. To help him, we're talking about Madonna. We're talking about Dave Punk. Music, we're thinking about Kanye West. We're talking about K. We're thinking about Nicki Minaj music. These massive international celebrities were wandering. They stood elbow to elbow and shoulder to shoulder in front of the cameras as though they were about to change the world and permanently alter music business standards. In music, disrespect is a dot. Have you seen Nicki Minaj lose her mind? She harbors resentment toward all female musicians. I won't music lie and claim that our conflict with Jay-Z is personal because there is money involved. So that's different. Music, because of her exclusive arrangement with T, very few people have voiced their opinions. Music, it sounds like Nicki is claiming that she is owed tens of millions of dollars by Jay-Z. I want everyone to stop and think about it now. Music. Think about it carefully. Let it register for a while. According to rumors, every musician who enters their entire name, brand, and reputation. They were assured a portion of the business when they risked their face for a title. We're all talking about 3% ownership. At this point, 3% music might not seem like much, especially when you speak it out loud so quickly. Isn't 3% insignificant? Music, not true. It's simply wrong. You know right away that we are talking about a substantial sum of money that may drastically alter your life when you do the calculations. Run the numbers and figure out what 3% of you music are interested in. In actuality, companies worth of hundreds of millions of dollars indicates that we might be talking about at least $30 million. You're out of spare change. Music that's not bonus money. This is how a generational dynasty is built. Create a lifetime of wealth for your grandchildren. But this is where the whole beautiful illusion music starts to crumble and crumble into dust. Despite all of the PR and celebrity endorsements, music titles, ostentatious news conferences, and grandiose pledges to alter the game, the desired music effect was not realized. It was challenging for the platform to compete with Spotify and Apple Music. It didn't gain the required momentum. Jay-Z eventually sold it after it failed despite all the effort, music, and promises. However, as Nicki Minaj has said, the musicians who stood up gave up their reputation music when the deal ended and were assured they would never get their fair portion of the pie. Nicki claims that Jay-Z owes her tens of millions of dollars. Music. And when someone owes you that much money, it's more than a small argument. Music that can be settled throughout dinner, let me tell you. That goes beyond a minor business dispute that can be settled with a handshake. It's a very, very, very personal affair. That's exactly why Nicki Minaj has been putting in so much effort. Music, a great deal of effort. She also didn't keep quiet about it. Not even by a small amount. She has been vocal. Music, she has made some noise. She has behaved violently. Music, she hasn't stopped. Furthermore, when Nicki Minaj decides to battle someone, she doesn't music back down. She is not reticent. She doesn't hide anything from you throughout a music-long public outburst. She listed all the things she believed Jay-Z had done wrong. I have to admit that the list was quite long. Dear #Jay-Z, you've ruined hip-hop, football, basketball, Instagram, touring, and more. You ruined Twitter, she said. Music, the jig is up. All of this is for amusement. She also mentions Desiree, a buddy of Jay-Z. Jay-Z is the head of DOA, so you might as well state that. The Gaza Strip was Jay-Z's aim. Nicki, don't stop. Come on up, you might as well. Give it a little more music. Jay-Z is the justification for processed meals. So there is a lot of music here, she explains. Okay, so the artificial coloring in the confectionery is his fault. What else? Jake is conscious. Music, she did file a lawsuit against him for everything, alleging that he was harming hip-hop and football. According to her, he ruined basketball and even played a part in the downfall of social media. Music, she went on. Lil Wayne, who was born and raised in New Orleans, was also criticized by her for not playing at the Super Bowl in his hometown. Furthermore, because of Jay-Z's strong, Nicki immediately accused Jay-Z of abusing his position of power because of his connections to the NFL through Roc Nation, the entertainment and sports management company he founded. His contacts and his ability to stop music Lil Wayne from performing on one of the biggest stages in the world in front of his own people in music, his own city. This is the main factor that makes the entire situation scenario 10 times music more combustible than it was previously, if not more so, despite the fact that such charges are incredibly upsetting. The dispute between Nicki and Jay-Z went beyond money, resulting in broken contracts and underpaid royalties. Oh no, music, it becomes something extremely large. Something that would shake both the entertainment and political sectors at the same time, because music was about to by doing something that no one on the planet could have foreseen. Nicki Minaj shocked the entertainment industry and split her music fan base. Her fan base was like a log being struck by an axe when she unexpectedly and forcefully altered her political views. And the rapid turn caused a stir on the online. If money, broken promises, and commerce were the main themes of the first part of this story's music, then transactions gone bad. Followed in part 2 by something significantly more dramatic and controversial because Nicki Minaj's subsequent actions barely affected the music business. A large number of people were startled by it. Everyone was impacted by the strong category 5 tsunami that her performances caused. From the streets of Hollywood to the hallways of Washington Music D.C. and back, and none of them were prepared for the blow. In the latter part of 2025, Nicki Minaj began using her music to openly support President Donald Trump. Furthermore, Biz was not mentioned in passing in a magazine interview. This was no innocuous comment. It was misunderstood. No. This Olin with no holds spread and no looking back endorsement left everyone in awe. Music on December 21, 2025, one of the biggest conservative gatherings in the country. Turning Point USA's annual America Fest convention was where she unexpectedly showed up. She entered the stage in front of hundreds of conservatives and started talking about Christian values, religious freedom, and the importance of Trump and Vice President Jay dance music. She said, are excellent examples of how to follow your faith without music worrying about reprisals. Young men, she said as she talked about gender issues. It's music, all right? Boys be boys. Furthermore, a single lyric in the song outraged her LGBTQ admirers, many of whom felt that being a guy was disrespectful and offensive to transgender experiences. Being a boy is acceptable. What's the song about? Nicki Minaj has a much more significant task to complete. She backed the music president on January 28, 2026. At the Trump Account Summit Music hosted by the U.S. Treasury Department in Washington, D.C., she went on stage in front of cameras from every major news network in the country and the United States' biggest fan of music, to create a new tax advantage savings plan for children and transfer $300,000 to Trump accounts. Looking directly into the cameras, she assured everyone present that she would not be affected by the outrage, criticism, or offensive remarks. She claimed that remarks only made her determination to back Trump stronger. Then, in the moment that divided the internet, she was caught on camera shaking hands with Donald Trump. Since that one image was featured on every blog, news website, and social media timeline in every music country, it was inevitable. When individuals sang in an interview with the Katie Miller program, she claimed that she was backing Trump because she had a personal connection to the president and felt music empathy. She explained that she had firsthand experience with the bullying and defamation techniques he faced during his music presidential campaign. This was about standing up for someone she felt was being mistreated by the political system and the music media. Not about any specific platform, role, or position within the music industry. Music was given a Trump Gold Card, a symbolic award linked to a wealthy music foreigner visa program, and she posted about it on social media to celebrate. What she said were improvements on her documents of citizenship. Born in Trinidad and Tobago, Nicki has been a lawful permanent resident of the United States for around 2 years, decades. Music soon after. Several internet users started to question whether her political support was motivated by personal advantages of immigration music. Nicki fiercely denied this charge. And on February 1st, Music 2026, she hadn't gone to the Grammys since 2016. But she had been music boycotting them for almost a decade. When host Trevor Noah chose to make fun of her Trump loyalty in his opening monologue, her absence seemed more